Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shawnee Grows. I'm so glad you're here. If you're watching on the replay, please leave us a comment below. I would like to say happy Thanksgiving to anybody who celebrated that today. Let's check out who is with us in the chat. We have Storms, Radios, and Cats. How's the weather? Gear Grinded 19's already got ideas, trowel, and a sharp hand tool. I hear you. I agree. Miss Sharon is here as well. Appreciate you. How was your day? Everybody's saying happy Thanksgiving. Yes, I hope it went to the best that it could for everyone. We have a topic, and the topic is gardening wish list. So what I want to do is I want to talk about a beginner's list for gardening, a large garden list of tools, my wish list, things that I feel that I'm missing that I could benefit if I had them, your wish list, and then a little bit at the end that might surprise you. So tools for the beginner. What do we got? We got 12 that we're going to go over, but please chime in, of course, as we go. All right, we have Templin Acres. Hello, how's your weather today? It is good to see you, yes. Let me grab my beginner list here. So number one on the list is gloves. How do we feel about Templin Acres says cold? Oh, it's cold here too. It's, I think, 15 degrees Fahrenheit currently, but the feels like is probably 8. Templin Acres says 15, I think, when I got in after chores. Yes, and it's just going to get colder as the week goes on for us here in Minnesota. No snow, though. So number one is gloves. How does everyone feel about gloves? The gloves should be durable, not too bulky. Working with seeds or transplanting seedlings. Fit is important because poor fitting gloves can cause blisters or accidents. Fabrics that are water resistant and breathable to keep your hands cool and comfortable. Some people like the longer cuff to protect wrists and forearms from scratches, and storing gloves out of sunlight, away from water, safe from insects. So do insects chew on gloves? Templin Acres, I rarely wear gloves. I should, but I don't. Gear Grinded 19, gloves are for pretty boy city folk. I like gloves if it's pokey, right? I was just gonna click on what they're suggesting for a glove purchase, because I've seen different styles. This is talking about foxglove. Feel the earth. Yes, I do feel that if I have a glove on, I can't get the job done right. Right? Miss Sharon, I can't stand gloves. Very uncomfortable. I only use them if I absolutely have to. Yes. Do I have to clean my fingernails out afterwards? Of course. That's like part of the experience, right? When you see your your hands are filthy at the end, it helps you get close with the earth, right? I don't know what foxgloves are. This is what it's showing me. Foxgloves. $24. I don't know about that. So maybe you think beginning gardeners need gloves, maybe you don't. Our next, number 2, is pruning shears, which I think I agree with. Now there's different styles of pruning shears. This is one that's saying bypass pruners are best for live plants and greenwood. Pruners should fit easily in the palm of your hand. You know, it should be easy to open too. When you pull it out of your pocket to take like the safety off to open it, it should be a one hand ready, right? I shouldn't have to fiddle with it. if you ask me. So the pruners that I have, I actually don't like. I need to invest in a different style because I feel like I have to fumble with them. Gear Grind in 19 says picking up, cleaning, and harvesting walnuts. I do recommend gloves though, yes, because you will look like you'll have the stain on you. That's correct. So does anyone have a good pruners that they like? Let's see what these people are suggesting in this article. Oh, I've never seen this style before. Look at that. The finger and the grip and everything. I've never seen that. Professional ratchet anvil pruning shears. Nope, I've never seen it. I like the curve on them, you know? That's pretty neat. Okay, Gear Garden 19. Fiskars, pruners, and snippers are Gear Garden approved. Fiskars, okay. Taking notes. Miss Sharon, I need decent pruners. Mine are cheap and falling apart. Yeah, I feel like I need new ones. Definitely. Temple and Acres. Almost everything I have is what I was able to acquire for your cheap, and I just make what I have work. Probably not what I would have if I had unlimited funds. You know, sometimes you just pick up something that's at a garage sale, right? Or maybe it was just left there. My phone is going off. I'm sure you can hear that. Let me just make sure it's not like an emergency situation here. The next one is Loppers, if everyone knows Loppers. I I don't know if we have a good pair of Loppers. They're long handled, right? They'd be for thicker stalks of something that you're trying to take down. Is this the one? Yeah. So like they have that really long handle. There's the clipper part of it. Does anyone find these useful in the garden? Number 4 is a garden fork. I believe I know what this is. Like a pitchfork? I use that to stir the compost. Let's see what they're suggesting. Yeah, it looks like a pitchfork. I don't know about this handle though. I'll show you. Does anyone have a pitchfork? See how it's like a rounded top? I don't know about that. Some people have a potato fork, which is shorter and it has a different end on it, but it kind of looks like a pitchfork, which is for digging up potatoes. Miss Sharon says to Temple and Acres, same. I got a lot from yard sales. Temple and Acres says same. I think that's a wonderful. Things that were made by a good company should be passed down through garage sales if a gardener is retiring. Gear Garden 19, Fiskars, Loppers are Gear Garden 2. Taking notes. Fiskars is really a good brand if you can afford it. It's one of those things where you're investing for the long haul, right? Like you know that you're going to garden for years. You just go and get the high quality gear, right? A hand trowel. That is the next one. I'm pulling up what? This one is a tulip shape. What is the purpose of that? I've only seen the normal kind. See it? It's got a tulip shape. For roots? Okay. What kind of hand trowels does everybody like? Because I could probably use a new one of those too, to be honest. The problem is does anybody lose their stuff? Like they take it with them in the garden and they set it down, or maybe they have kids, and then now you're spending 10 minutes looking for the thing. Temple and Acre says, I have a potato fork. Yes. Do you use it for all kinds of things? Gear Garden 19, pitchfork is for like hay and mulch. Would use a spade fork or tater fork. Oh, spade fork, yes. I've heard that term for digging up taters. Yeah. Yeah, I like to stir my compost. Pretty, yeah. Sometimes the prettiness is why we buy stuff, isn't it? So there's this picture of the hand trowel. That's what I'm used to, that rounded. Spade is number 6. Treads on top of the blade give a sturdier and more comfortable foot surface when needing an extra push. Stainless steel heads are strong and won't rust. This is suggesting a king of spades we can look at. But down here it's got this little ad for garden augers. So I just want to ask, does anyone use a garden auger where you have it connected to a drill? Because they're really good at digging holes fast, right? I do not have one. I'm not sure I really need one. Whoa, this says it's $90 for this. Isn't that too much? What? For a spade? It's like a rectangle-headed shovel to dig a hole. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Gear Gridon, 19. Like my Fisker's trowel with some serration. Oh, it has like little teeth on it? Ooh. Apparently need to just get a gift card to Fisker's, right? A rake. We gotta have a rake. Most people with yards have a rake of some sort. A standard leaf rake. A hoe. Now this is debatable, the style that they're showing. Miss Sharon, I usually just use a hoary form, most stuff. Yes, they have the teeth. Gear grind in 19. Regular spade shovel is good for digging water line and electric wire ditches or drain ditches. Ooh, fun facts. So if you have that on your chore list, you should have that tool. So they're showing this style hoe. Now I would argue that this is not the type you need to buy, and I'll talk about the type that you should buy in my wish list section of this live stream. A garden hose with adjustable nozzle. Yes. Okay. So a garden hose that is sturdy. Like when you pick it up, it doesn't flop over when it's empty, right? It might be heavy to haul around the yard, but you need a decent garden hose. And then the adjustable nozzle, I like the one with the long, like wander wand. I think that's what I'm thinking. The watering wand, the long headed. You can just like hold it while you're standing up instead of having to hold on to the little one the whole time. Gear grind and also edging around flower beds, but a flat, oh, edging with it. That's a really good point. A flat shovel will do. Yes. I agree with that. Yeah, a good hose, a good water wand, a watering can I also agree with. It's talking about you can get plastic or metal. I probably need to get a new one because the end keeps coming off of mine. Gear Grade in 19 says instead of buying the $7 nozzles wands, buy the $20 one. Save yourself money in the long run. Yes. But and then just understand that just because you're buying the $20 one doesn't mean you're not going to have to rebuy it in 2 years. I've even had where that little filter comes out, the part that attaches to the hose, and then I have to go find it in the yard because somebody touched it and they weren't supposed to. But yes, I agree. I've had so many break. You just got to get the better ones. Miss Sharon, I've got to figure out a better way to water by spring. That is a common thing. Do you not want to hand water? You want like an automated system? Either drip line or overhead sprayers? Do you want it on a timer? What are you thinking, Miss Sharon? Number 12 is a wheelbarrow. Now this is debatable too. So are you guys team wheelbarrow or team dump cart? You know, what would you do? I have a wheelbarrow here for my rental home garden, and then for the offsite garden, I have a dump cart, gorilla cart. Templin Acres has a heart. Gear Grinded 19. Orbit Max 8 pattern from Lowe's. Less than $20. Had mine for some years now. Oh, good to know. Orbit Max 8. The link to the 12 garden tools to buy for beginners is in the description if you want to look around. And in it, it has the links to things. It is coming from Amazon, but you can get the idea and shop local and support your local seed store and co-op. Wheelbarrow. Temple and Acres is Team Wheelbarrow. Miss Sharon. I don't mind hand watering. The dragging the 100-foot of hose full of water uphill is hard on me. Yes. And if there's no way to change so you can dig a line and have a faucet up the hill already so you're not dragging the hose, is there a way to have rain catchment up atop the hill and then have your water source come from there? Because I'm guessing you're not leaving the hose in that location. Like for me out at the offsite, we have to put the hose away and mow and then bring the hose back out when we need it. So it does, I just say that it's my exercise, but it sounds like you do want to make a change. Gear Grinded 19. Wheelbarrows are easier to manhandle. Maybe it depends on the job. If the job needs a wheelbarrow or a dump cart, gorilla cart. So now that we did the basics for beginners according to this website, okay, maybe you guys feel that that was inaccurate. We can talk about a large garden tool list. So either you already have been gardening and you want to step up your game, or you want to expand your garden, or you want to save yourself time. Let's look at the breakdown of what that list would look like. Gear Grinded 19, or easier to handle. Miss Sharon, I'm working on rain catchment, but we went 42 days this summer with no rain. Yes, so then you do have to have some sort of water source. If you can get just a faucet connected up there, that would be amazing. Duncan 1900 Homestead, good evening to you as well. How's your weather? How's your day? We are talking about gardening wish lists. You know, if a beginner or you have a larger garden or you're more experienced, what my wish list is going to be, what your wish list is going to be. Does any of this really matter? We're going to get into that at the end. So 11 time-saving garden tools for a large garden is the next thing we're going to talk about. So here's a shot of her space that she takes care of for her large family. Doesn't that look wonderful? There is a fence. They're doing large rows. So the very first one here is one 30-inch bed preparation rake. So here's what that looks like. She's saying it's a big game changer in her garden. The beds themselves are 30 inches. The rake is used to smooth out the bed. That seems pretty handy. Templin Acres reminds me of Tangletown Gardens. Oh. Okay, here's the Stirrup Hoe conversation is what I wanted to get into. See that? I would say this is what you should get, not the other style hoe. The Stirrup Hoe, I feel like, is so much better. You can go forward and back really well. It does effectively cut roots of larger weeds. I think it's fantastic. I've edged around the beds, just go around it quick to clean it up. I love it. Wheel hoe is a stirrup hoe on a wheel. So it uses the same push and pull motion, but see, you're pushing it from up here, and here's the stirrup part of it at the bottom, and it has a wheel on it. Templin Acres, you have a stirrup hoe. Duncan 1900 Homestead, when we were first married, I used a shovel and a hoe. Yes. We talked about going to garage sales, yard sales, and getting tools that way, you know. Number 4, the gritter. The gritter rolls out perfectly spaced grids for planting. Most market gardeners use it. So here's what the gritter looks like. You run it down the row and it makes the little square markings. To make a garden, Duncan says. Yes. Number 5, the rebellion tool is used with a gritter. So you need to have perfectly spaced rows to make this work. It's a combination wire hoe that weeds multiple rows at a time. So here's what that looks like. It kind of is scary. Has anybody seen this before? It loses effectiveness from when weeds have their first set of true leaves and beyond. It's important to remember that using a wire hoe, you use it before you see weeds. It's like a preventative tool that you drive down. Miss Sharon will be right back. Sounds good. I've never seen this, honestly. I'm not sure I have a use for this. The only negative to the rebellion is that the jostling of the weeding sometimes shakes loose the twist connection of the ruler. The middle hoe stays in firmly. All right. All right, broad fork. Here we go. Now we're talking. Look at that. Does everyone know what a broad fork is? So it has those strong tines that go in and you step on it and you rock it back and forth and it's putting air in. It's loosening that soil bed there. It was good for heavy clay. She used it for that. Some of them are wood and metal. Some of them are all metal as far as the pieces of it. So I would use this for a carrot bed for sure. So instead of like picking soil up and flipping it over, it does look like a funky antenna. That wire thing, Storm Trios and Cats, looks like a funky antenna from NASA. I don't think I'm gonna have that in my list. Broad forking. That's another garden workout. The broad forks are very heavy though, like to lug around and use. Number 7, Earthway Seeder. So this gardener uses it for planting corn, beans, and cover crops. So here's what Earthway Seeder looks like. What I like about these? Oh, here, Duncan 1900 Homestead always wanted a broad fork. Yes. Yes, indeed. Doesn't it look lovely? The cedar is attractive to me because you're not necessarily bent over planting giant rows. Well, when I have just my garden beds in town, I would just sit on the ground on a cushion and like la 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 put the seeds in, right? Where now I'm gardening on a much bigger space and I kind of just want a tool to get the seeds in. So usually you set it to different gears for it to drop at whatever spacing you want and however many seeds you want. Welcome back, Miss Sharon. It's all good. So maybe someday I want the Jang Seeder. That's what number 8 is, Jang Seeder. It's very expensive, but the quality is excellent. This is what I've seen where you switch out gears for different plant spacings and sizes. This thing looks real cool. To save your back and save your time, just drive it down the row. Up and down, up and down. It has more weight than the Earthway and it presses down the seeds really well. It's very good at singulating the seeds. Okay. It's good for small sizes. The Earthway should still be used for peas, beans, and corn, it sounds like. So, I mean, that's unfortunate that this Jang doesn't have a change out for a larger seed. I wonder what that's about. Miss Sharon, thanks. No one calls this late. Oh boy. Scared the, yeah. Storms, radios, and cats. All that matters is that you're still with us, Miss Sharon. Aw, yes. Okay, garlic dibbler is a homemade tool for planting garlic. It's the second prototype for this gardener. So scrap pieces of wood. They cut them into 5-inch pieces for the dibbler part. So it does have a longer handle, so you aren't extremely bent over, but you're still hunched over a little, and you put the dibber in the ground. It makes holes to plant your garlic in. Did anybody plant garlic this year? I did. I planted garlic. I planted more than I did last year. Don't ask me how many. I don't know. Number 10, a BCS Tractor. So there's that. It's a walk behind style BCS Tractor. Let's see. It has lots of different attachments that go on it. She's using it to till, to flip a bed over, to prepare the soil. You can set it to like 2 inches. Miss Sharon, I did a little bit. You planted garlic? Let's see what this talks about. Rotary plow attachment. Rocky clay soil. It's a really good investment for that. They are an expensive item though. It's not something you get your first year. The rotary plow attachment for the BCS spins on its axis. It's like trying to control a bucking bronco when you hit a rock. Oh my goodness. It's a workout. Yeah, there's lots of attachments. There's a wood chipper that goes on it. Oh. Miss Sharon says, I have no need for large tools like that. Right. Yes. That would definitely be something for a large garden. That's for sure. We're also waiting to order the flail mower to use for cover crops. That's going to be an attachment on her BCS as well to chop down cover crops. Number 11, silage tarps. So they can be used a lot when you're first starting a garden. You leave it on the area over the summer to kill perennial weeds and grasses underneath. It gives you a head start. It like solarizes all of it. It kills them. They're great for pressing pause on an area. If you aren't able to quickly flip a garden bed from one crop to the next, the silage tarp will hold the area and prevent weeds from taking over. So here's a shot of that. Usually you weigh it down with sandbags. She's expanded her garden every year, so she's using that tarp in all the new spots every year. They're planting cover crops. There's another picture of it. They're very large to handle. Like, don't do it on a windy day, eh? Some people are upset that it's plastic. It's just a temporary, it's going on and then coming off, you know. She's listing here the forgotten few: shovels, hand trowels, pruning shears, loppers, hori knife, Japanese weeding tool. Those are all things that large gardens can use as well. Oh, thank you for sharing channels, Miss Sharon. Let me just grab a drink. So let's talk about, maybe you've kind of taken a hint. If you were to write my wish list for my gardening, I would definitely get a broad fork. I would like to try it. So the broad fork that I would look at comes from Meadow Creature. So let's check it out. Let's go shopping, shall we? So they have different styles. This is a 12-inch with tines. It is $274, but it is all steel. Because I'm worried about wood snapping, because I have snapped a wood handle before. So here's where you apply your foot on that base chunk right there, and you stick it in, you rock it back and forth. I want one. The second thing I would get is a stirrup hoe. Now I have a stirrup hoe, but I feel like I'm going to show it again, I think. I feel like more than one is better. Maybe I could convince someone to help me in the garden with it if I had another one. So it's that, has this style end on it, the stirrup hoe. I would definitely buy another one of those. That 30-inch bed rake bed prep, remember that? I think I want one of those. I think that would really help if you just drag it down the row before planting to like level everything out, make it smooth. I think I really want one. Miss Sharon, I got one of those this year, the stirrup hoe. I think everyone needs a stirrup hoe. 100%. There's this paper weed barrier I would consider messing around with because I had a lot of weeds. I have this new offsite garden space that I'm not there every day and managing it. I didn't have enough organic matter or mulch or chop and drop crop or anything. So this is a Weed Guard Plus heavyweight paper that you put in your garden. It's 100% biodegradable. So the way I've seen this used is, you know how people burn holes and then they put their plant in that hole and you have it burned the right spacing that you want? That's what they did with this. And then on the edges, they covered it with their mulch. They had wood chips. And I think some places they used those. Wow, what are the words for those things? It's like a stake, landscape stake, tarp stake, clip. It holds it so if it doesn't blow away. Oh, Miss Sharon, yes, from Ace. Nice. Year grade in 19. I'd invest in a stirrup hoe if I had a big in-ground garden. Okay, that's a wonderful point. If you're doing container gardening, you're doing hand tools, almost everything. Container gardening, whether it's a bucket or just a pot or a raised bed, you kind of don't need these long-handled big items. I hear you. I hear you. What else is on my list? I would like some kind of overalls, I think, or just other outdoor, like really good durable pants. I like pants with pockets. And I thought about, do I want overalls, shorts for gardening? Because you're gardening in the hot weather. And I don't. I think I want pants because I'm always laying and kneeling and crawling all over the ground. And I have been bringing a mat with either just a cushion that goes on a lawn chair or the actual like foam things that they make for you to kneel on. And I don't want it touching my skin. Like it's a texture thing. So I would like some nice overalls. Miss Sharon, I use cardboard and newspaper for weed barrier. Love that. I mean, anything to get, if it works for you, right? To get the weeds under control. Now, weeds aren't all bad. I mean, we can talk about, they tell you things. Different weeds pop up in different areas to tell you you're deficient in this or this is here. They help. There's ones with deep tap roots that help break up compacted soil. You can chop and drop a weed. Now, not when it's producing the seed, I wouldn't. I would get that out of there. But it's green matter that turns into soil anyway. It's just a matter of do you want to look at it? Here, grade in 19. Everyone needs a sit and kneel bench. Yes. Yes. I would also like boots. So I have boots, but they're rated for colder temps. I have them for winter purposes. And I think for a gardening boot, I need something that's shorter for the ankle because the boot I have is much taller. It's for snow. But I like what it's made out of is waterproof because I'm always getting my feet wet. You're watering and looking at everything and you're stepping here and you're doing this. And now gardening barefoot would be preferred 100%, but I can't always be efficient and be barefoot. So I make time for barefoot gardening, but when it's like a hard day or I need to like put my foot on a shovel to get it in, I don't want to do that barefoot. I'm sorry. Maybe some people can, but Miss Sharon, definitely need better boots. Mine are a kid's hand-me-downs. Oh, I hope you have your list out. Greetings, forest permaculture. How are you? How was your weather today? So now that we've done my wish list, we did the beginners, gardening, tools and gear, suggestions. We did what if we're upgrading to a larger space or we feel like we want to have things to make us save time or make gardening easier. We did that list. We did my wish list that I hope to get. Now, your wish list, we've kind of talked about it as we went, but does anyone want to throw out, like, what is on your wish list? Let me know in the comment on the chat. Everyone's saying hi to forest permaculture. Gear Garden 19. Never gardened with a bare foot, but I used to have a rabbit foot on my keychain. Was the rabbit Really lucky? Yes, maybe. Number 1 is boots. Do you have a company in mind? Because like I said, I want the insole to be comfortable. I want the rubber for waterproofing. And I think I just want it to be an ankle boot, not anything higher. Now the boot I have that I use when I know it's going to be muddy and it also doubles as a winter boot. I think it's from Bogs, Bogs. Miss Sharon says Hissia, is that how you say it? Hisea? Let's see if I can figure this out. Hisea boot. Do you have a specific one? Like, do you have a name of one? Should I just go to women's? There's a sale? I like sales. Oh, there's like a rubber and it's short and it's even a picture of her gardening. Let's share it. Now we did talk, like if you can do barefoot, do barefoot. Don't forget about barefoot gardening. Check that out. And there she is using it. No, I don't want to stop asking me stuff. So that one's 30 bucks. Just plain rubbers. Those ones are higher up. Oh, they have, that's definitely waterproof. Yep. Ankle. These aren't expensive at all. These are very affordable. Nice find. Thank you for sharing that tip. Duncan, 1900 Homestead. I wish for little fairies to garden for me. Oh. Wouldn't that be adorable? Food Forest Permaculture. Hi, I am well, and it is somewhat cold. Move mulch. Yeah, you had a big mulch pile. And worked on the meditation den. You did. My very best to you. Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that you were able to spend time working on that meditation den. Everyone should have one of those. Miss Sharon says those come with a lifetime guarantee. That's fantastic. And they're really not that expensive. Now, I don't know what shipping costs. Food Forest Permaculture. Grubs for me all the way. Is Grubs the name of the boot? Are those the ones you got from Mallory? Oops. I should write boots after Grubs. It looks like it is a boot. So you don't get too hot in that? So I'm looking for, a summer gardening boot, not a winter. They're a lot more heavy duty and there's a huge price difference, but I bet you these last long time. Okay, so boots for farm and ranch. Is that what we should click on? Those are high boots. I was looking for a short one. This one works if I can get it on the screen. Ta-da! The Grubs Midline 5.0 Field Boot, 125. That looks very appealing. Very much. Okay, let's see. Miss Sharon, check on YouTube channels. Some have a coupon code. Yes. Oh, Food Forest Permaculture will do a vid tomorrow. Stay tuned. Yes, we're talking about the boot. Does anybody else have any more items on their wish list? Now, maybe you guys already realized this, that you don't really need any of these things. Your hands and your feet are what you need to garden, right? We don't need to spend hundreds of dollars, and you can go out to garage sales and yard sales and get things and pick them up for if you know how to, sharpen things, clean things up. Miss Sharon, Yellow Door Homestead has a coupon for the Hissia boot. Okay, Hissia. Wonderful tip. We love that. And I'm sure there's lots of things on sale in the US because of the timing that we have going on for things. But yes, you need your hands and your feet. These tools make it a little easier and a little faster, yes. But you can do it without any of it, right? I have not been shopping any of the sales. I have stayed out of them. But now that we talked about this, I don't know. What are we joking about? What? Did I miss a comment? Oh, I forgot. We have what is this thing called? A poll. What's the most essential gardening tool for you? Now, I feel like, how do you choose just one? Come on. How do we choose just one? Let's see what it says for who's here. 50% was trowel and hand tools. 37% was wheelbarrow or garden cart. 12% was garden hose or a watering system, and nobody said pruning shears. Miss Sharon, I spend a lot of time running back and forth to get tools, end up just using my hands or a stick. This is something I hear about often, and having a solution to that, things like organization, location, putting things away, food forest permaculture. I said I want a flamethrower that is used in it. Yes, I talked about this the other day. Why don't we get a flamethrower? But yes, understanding that the tools aren't being accessible for you says, location, organization. And it doesn't help if someone else is doing the gardening with you. The thing that I have a problem with, and it's going to get better as we go here, is I'm gardening at an offsite, and then I was gardening here because I had a garden planted here at my place where I live. And there was one tool, and it was the tool that I wanted to use, but maybe I wanted to use it at the offsite garden. If I didn't pack that, I had to figure out another way to do the job or save the job for another day, right? So having two different locations, or maybe you garden at a community garden or you're renting gardening land like I am, hauling the tools back and forth and being organized with what do I need today, what do I not need, because you usually aren't going to leave everything in your truck or your van or your car the whole time. Storms, rain days, and cats, that is the smartest thing I've heard anyone say in a long time in the gardening community. You don't need all those things. We really don't. I mean, if we look at all kinds of other areas that garden or farm, they're barefoot and they pull a line in the soil with their foot and they drop a seed with their hand and they cover it with their toesies, a bucket to bring some water in, to catch water from the rain, right? Food forest permaculture. My friend has one hooked up to his cub tractor. A flamethrower? I kind of want to see that. Kentucky Goblin, welcome to this. We talked about essentials, tools, gears for beginners in the gardening world, for people that maybe want to upgrade their garden size, a large garden, or they just want some tools to save time in the garden. And then we talked about my wish list, if anybody out there cares about things that I think I need for my gardening. And then we are talking about your wish list. What are some things that you would like to purchase to help you out in the garden? And of course, we discussed that you don't need any of these technically. You need time. Yes, and weather. And sun, water, temperature, it happens at the right time. We don't need all the shiny fancy things. People are welcoming Kentucky Goblin. Thank you so much. Make sure to drop his link. There we go. Miss Sharon on top of it. Bob942. Hello. Good to see you. How's your weather? Is there anything on your gardening wish list is what we're talking about? Or do you have everything you need? Food forest permaculture. I'm very tired. We'll watch the replay in the morning. Good night. Good night. Sleep tight. Rest well. I hope to get an update on your liquid situation. What did you call it? liquid diet, fasting. No, not fasting. Cleanse. Cleanse is the word. It's very late and it was a long day and I'm tired and I'm sorry that that word took that long to come out. Kentucky Goblin, the basic tools is all you need. Anything else is just a waste. Yes. Yeah, we talked about, are you gloves? Yes. Gloves, no. Are you a wheelbarrow or a garden cart? So please share opinions on this. South Florida Sunshine, welcome to the gardening chat. Hello. Share your wish list if you'd like. Bob saw the list. All right. Thank you. Storms, radios, and cats. If it was up to me, my whole backyard would be plowed under and it would be a big garden. That's a lot to take on. So if someone showed up and was like, hey, I got this plow, you would go for it, huh? Good tools. Right. Do you have any that you specifically want to share about? I know you have, was it a Japanese pruning scissors? South Florida Sunshine says, good night to Howie. Gear Garden 19, have a good one. Gloves, yes and no. Yeah, so I said, is it prickly? Like, is it going to stab me if I, I kind of want a good glove then, not a cloth glove, but one that's going to protect and have a barrier. Most of the stuff, though, I just want to get in the dirt and feel the dirt. And yes, I will have to clean up afterwards, right? Because it's in there. Storms, Raiders, and Cats says, I don't use gloves either. I want to feel the soil. Yes, there's many benefits with that contact too, with the microbes in our skin and absorbing. Kentucky Goblin, when you have other things to do in life, you don't need to complicate things. Hear, hear. Duncan, 1900 Homestead says, gloves just get in the way. That is a thing. They talked about if they don't fit right, it can be a hazard. It can actually you could get hurt, right? I can't plant seeds with gloves on. I know that. I need to feel the seed, right? Bob942 here in the States, not much on the gloves. Kentucky Goblin, when my tiller broke down, I just used basic tools to do the job. I'm glad that you didn't give up, that you still gardened, even though this tool that benefited you broke down, because that's a bummer. Bob942 says, overseas, I use gloves. Very much. I can't remember, you said, is it because of insects or disease or a chemical in the earth over there? South Florida Sunshine, I love my Hori Hori knife. I have those gloves with the claws, but often forget to use them. I need to find my dad's hoe to fix the handle. It disappeared. Now, we talked about, are you a traditional hoe person or a stirrup hoe person? Myself, I am a stirrup hoe person all the way. I would like to buy another one. So I have two then. I only have one right now. And I didn't get the other style hoe out whatsoever this year. I said no. I love that Kentucky Goblin. So you could still kind of stand up and you hold the PVC pipe and you put the seed in and it drops into place instead of being either on your hands and knees or bent at your hips. Love that. Bob942 says, yes, insects in my body is not used to the bacteria. I like that you're bringing that up. Yeah, in a whole different land over there. That's a really good point. South Florida Sunshine. I use my son's cart and still wish we took my dad's wheelbarrow to the house. Here I use a wheelbarrow because that's what I have. My kids all have their own kid-sized wheelbarrows, which can be helpful. At the offsite, I have a dump cart. Like Gorilla cart, I think it is, and you take the thing and the bed dumps up. You pull it around. I like them both for different purposes, you know. Depends on what I'm doing. Miss Sharon, ladies' gloves. Excuse me, the fingers are too long. The too long fingers, you can't do anything then. I get kids' gloves, but there's usually a seam inside right over my nail cuticle. Oh, not good. Yeah, it's not good when there's not a good fit. Because it was saying you could get blisters even too. South Florida Sunshine. I have a cultivator hoe, which is Dad's old hoe, and a hula hoe. Hula hoe? Like them both. Use them for different jobs. I feel like I don't know what that is. So I just say hula hoe? Oh, stirrup hoe is what it looks like. I've never heard it referred to a hula hoe. Okay. Okay. Bob942, I use a dump cart for tools. This brings up a good point. When we're talking about going to the shed or the place where you store your stuff, and you're going out for a job in the garden, and you need this, 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 and this, having something to carry it in. Love that. A cart works wonderful. I've been using a bucket, but if I actually get the big items that I want, pulling them in that gorilla cart would actually be a smart idea instead of making multiple trips. Bob942, dump cart and a 5-gallon bucket. Yes, yes, the bucket. I use a bucket. Storms, radios, and cats. Oh, just keeping things to himself over here. South Florida Sunshine tells Miss Sharon that hates seams in irritating places. Kentucky Goblin, I like to get in the dirt. That soil. Yes, that's kind of the point, right? Miss Sharon, stirrup hoe, hula hoe, and action hoe. Oh, action hoe is another term for the same thing. Yeah, great. Learning things. South Florida Sunshine. It's a stirrup hoe, basically. I just like calling it a hula hoe, like telling people I broke Dad's old hoe. I get it. I get it. Kentucky Goblin. Yes, they are. Storms, radios, and cats. I should train my cats to haul tools for me. Like for them to pull something, or would they like wear a thing on their back? How are we putting it in their mouth to carry it? What's your strategy here? Gear Garden 19. Hula hoes come from Hawaii. Weak face. You guys are funny. So the links are in the description for the two websites, the beginning gardening tools and the larger garden tools list. And I did put in there what I am looking for if I were to have a wish list, things that I would like to try. South Florida Sunshine, think mine is from Ace Hardware, talking to gear. Bob942, try out a Japanese weeding cycle. I love it. I bought two. Japanese weeding cycle. Oh, a little hand tool. Sickle? Am I saying that wrong? Is it sickle or cycle? I think it's sickle. Let me see if I can pull up a picture without. Here we go. Oh, it's not expensive at all. This is cheap. Okay. See that? I think that's what he's talking about. You bought two of them? I like it. Very sharp edge, it says. Oh, Duncan 1900 Homestead. I love my gorilla cart. Maybe I should show that. Gorilla cart. For the folks here and the folks on the replay, gorilla carts are pretty cool. There's different styles, just like anything else in the world. Let's see. There's this style that lifts up and dumps separate from the frame. And then there's the great kind. Maybe you call that a utility cart, not a gorilla cart. Maybe the name's different. Let's see if I can show this. I always have to check to see, why are they asking me all these things? No. Go away. Okay. I think we're safe now. And then there's this style. It's like the grates. Things can fall through it. They have different purposes. They might have different capacities too, for like weight capacities. Here we go. Miss Sharon says yes to Bob 942. That's on my list. Bob says probably spelled it wrong maybe, and it goes in the dirt. South Florida Sunshine, I have a handheld weeder tool that has a V sharpened end, and it is great for getting large tap roots out. Bob 942, yes, I bought the smaller ones. Okay. Bob 942 goes in the dirt to scrape the plants off below the soil. Kentucky Goblin, that is like my wagon, the dump cart gorilla one. And then those last years, right? I mean, you're not getting a new wagon every year. It's a long-term game. South Florida Sunshine, yes, those are great. The great cart people use at the huge spring plant sale near me. Yeah. I use the poly cart, says Bob 942. And Miss Sharon says those are too heavy for me to pull up the hill. I hear ya. You have to garden up on the hill? Like, can we just move the garden? Is that an option? Because we've talked about we can't drag a hose up the hill. We can't pull a cart up the hill. The tools, can we move the garden? South Florida Sunshine, right. A lot of the carts are hard for me too, Miss Sharon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And we're going to do final thoughts. We're at an hour. Final thoughts for our gardening gear and tool wish list. Get it out. Miss Sharon, not really another option. I have a very small spot. Okay. It's got to stay there. I hear ya. Gear says, but it's early yet. Well, okay, yes. But I ran out of material to talk about. It's 10 o'clock my time, and I have to do all the regular things tomorrow. It's Friday, and I have 2 problems that I have to deal with tomorrow already. I already know that it's happening tomorrow, so someone else can go live, and we can all jump on over there. Kentucky Goblin, you have to use your back to use those wagons. Gear Garden 19. Final thoughts. Just garden. You can do it. Yes. Just garden. Don't think you have to get all these things to start planting. It's just fun to talk about this time of year. Wow, so sorry I missed most of it. I did not realize you had time to go live today. Right. Yes. So I came home and laid in the dark in the quiet because that's what I needed. FYI. And then said, well, I have all this time and I can't. One of the problems I have to deal with is I'm locked out of the work program. So I have to figure out that tomorrow because otherwise I would have worked tonight for my job. I can't get into it though. Kentucky Goblin, good exercise. South Florida Sunshine, I have a hubby back to work tomorrow. So yes, up early with M and probably a stiff back. Yes. We have to go pick up everything that I left because we just bailed. Bob 942, right now during the cold, I am making fertilizer for the lawn. That is a lovely winter project. We did a live stream about winter projects. Was it last week already or was it this week? It was whatever the last live stream was. And I don't think we had making fertilizer on that one. That's a really good one. Miss Sharon, remember to hit that thumbs up or the other one. Both work for me. And yes, I really appreciate everybody coming in on this Thursday night. Am I unplanned? I go on when I can. Kentucky Goblin, at least I caught some of your live. Make sure you catch the replay, make a comment. South Florida Sunshine has a message. Big hugs to all those who have done holiday meals. May you rest well tonight and wake tomorrow not hurting. Bob 942, fertilizer is coffee grounds, cardboard, paper, tree bark mixed together. It's a great combination. So with that being said, thank you everyone. Yes, I might see you this weekend. I'm not going to make any promises. It's if I can prepare the topic that I want to talk about. So everyone have a good night and share this out, please.